550 points, and the problem pocket is the Nifty Bank, which has lost close to around 1,000 points. But the person who can give us an insight into what he's picking up with regard to D-Street chatter, Nimesh is with us. Nimesh, it's a truncated week. The bulls would have not wanted to come back, and I think the stop loss today is 330. But tell us, what are you picking up in D-Street chatter?
Well, it's largely a global risk off, which is putting India also under pressure. But today's and it's largely backed by large FI selling as well. We saw on Monday, we saw on Tuesday. Again, there is a very large sell-off. Is what I understand. Imagine the buy-sell ratio at FI desk is nearly 1:3. When I mean one buy and there are 3 sells. So that's the kind of intensity which is there within the FI selling. And even that is largely in the large cap names. Look at the fall in the large cap names like Reliance, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank. That's where the pain point seems to be. There is passive selling happening. And maybe one reason to explain is that maybe the money is moving out of India to China. So that's something which potentially is playing out, and we'll further see that once China reopens on Monday. And we spoke about it, right? That's the potential risk for India, at least in the near term. So that's playing out. I think barring metal names, there is selling across the board today. And that explains, Nifty, Bank Nifty, mid cap, small cap, all the indices are down nearly 2%.
Yeah.
Having said that, a couple of things to watch out for. We are very close to the crucial technical level of 25,200 on the Nifty on the downside. So we are pretty much around that. And also, if you look at intraday, the PCR followed was almost at 0.7. We're now at 0.75 odd. Normally, we've seen markets bottom out around 0.7 on the PCR. So that needs to be taken into account.
Yes.
Closer to the technical level, so watch out for that as well. But there is clearly selling pressure from larger FIs in the large cap names, and that's the reason why you're seeing intense selling and Nifty largely under pressure, largely led by the likes of Reliance, HDFC Banks, and Kotak Banks of the world.
Well, point well taken, Nimesh. What about individual stocks? What are you picking up?
Nigel, while markets have been down another 500 points today, the breadth doesn't seem to be that bad.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of mid-cap and small-cap which are buzzing in trade. So the first name on my list today is R Systems. Not buzzing in trade, but it's been consolidating in a very narrow range. But now I understand there's going to be a very large block in R Systems very soon. I'd spoken about it a couple of weeks back as well. There is one large NRI investor who owns close to 29%, and he can potentially sell around 10%. So that's the buzz that I've picked up in our systems. The second name is Strides Pharma. That's been buzzing in trade almost at 52-week high. The volumes are on the higher side. It's been buzzing largely because one of the subsidiaries of Strides Pharma has recently raised close to $100 million from very large influential investors at a very high valuation. So that explains a big up move in Strides Pharma of late. The third name is EPAC, a recent listing. But again, that's been buzzing off late. The volumes on the higher side, few HN investors seems to be active buyer as well. I believe one PE fund was to sell a partial stake. That's largely been done with, and there is a very strong buzz that maybe over the next couple of months the company is likely to back few large orders as well. So that's a trigger on EPAC. And the last name is Paytm. This is going to be interesting. We saw a big move on Paytm yesterday as well. The volumes have actually picked up of late. A leading domestic mutual fund has been an aggressive buyer in the last few days. And also there is a very strong indication that maybe a corporate development is lined up in Paytm very soon.
Thank you very much for that. So EPAC, Paytm, some stocks which Nimesh is watching out for.